It's the 1st of July. We've gotten to the new season. We've also seen all the loans ended for the other teams around us. And now we know, without loans, without new transfers, we're expected to be in 13th place, which is actually really good considering everything else. Just a few problems though. Radcliffe and Hitchingtown, who are new promoted, are expected to be quite good as well. And that's without transfers. Bury are in this division this year, as are Hereford. They're expected to be quite good. So, when the other teams start making their transfers, I'm probably expecting us to be in dire straits. One thing I haven't shown you guys is the repetition of the clubs around us and ourselves. West Ham were the championship last year, but got promoted in the end, while Stockport County are now a championship team. So that's a good start. But what we're looking for is ourselves, because while we've got West Brom and Shrewsbury as our affiliates in the championship and the League 2 respectively, we are not a good team in terms of reputation, and I'm hoping that eventually we will become a very highly regarded National League North and South side. The fact we've got 5 different teams who are not even in the division with a high reputation than us is concerning, but it is slowly but surely getting there. And as far as I'm concerned, the fact it is getting better is a good sign. You look at all these teams around us that, or in our division, that have a low reputation than us, that's it all. Marines still have the worst reputation, despite the fact they've actually been really good in the last couple of years. So clearly, reputation doesn't mean anything in this division. But there you go. We're hoping that eventually we can just be a consolidation around Chorley, because Chorley and Oxford City, both in the National League, are doing well for themselves. I'm hoping we can catch up to them and be around their sort of reputation level eventually, and just be closer and closer towards this kind of stuff, so we can claim that we're closing in on being a 1.5 star competition team, so we can eventually do better and better things. But now I'm going to talk about the squad planner, and we're going to go over the players we've got so far, and the players that I plan on using this season. Brandon Hall, despite everything, is still giving me a first choice goalkeeper. He actually did better. He just doesn't feel like he did better. He actually had more clean sheets and did better defensively this last year. So, yeah, he was actually quite good. So, if anything, this might be a reason to keep him around. The fact he did better overall and got more player of the match awards shows me he is worth keeping there. Bradley Farrell, I'm not sure how to really give him the game time. I've given him first team football before when Hall's been terrible in goal, so there's that, but his inconsistency is a concern for me. But at the same time, I think this kid could do good stuff. He just needs to actually be good in his development. I'm not sure how to get the development he needs, but he doesn't need to go out on loan yet. He still doesn't turn 18 until May, so we've got time to work on him. And our facilities being good again means he should be able to develop even without the first team football. Right back, there's a few things to talk about here. Bigot is our first choice. He's an inverted fullback on defend. He also likes to bring the ball out of defense. He's also 5'11", which I never realized was a thing. So playing him as a centre back, while could be useful, probably is not my smartest option. He is considered a good player for our division though, and he's considered the 3.5 star capability player. Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Penley is a centre back who can also play in the right back position. He's not as good, so he's never going to be playing there, but I'm just going to show him that regardless. But the third choice player that we got, Jordan McNorley, I have to give this guy first team football at some point, because this could be the time that I start to throw in youngsters here and actually have Bigot play as centre back to replace an aging Kerr. So we've got options here, and I think this guy, if he starts to get better and better, could be my first team plans this season. Centre backs we're going to look at, and Fraser Kerr is our first choice. He's the oldest of the players. He's also going to be 34 by the end of the season. He doesn't like big matches. He's also a captain, but he's also consistent, and he's good in our division. So, should I be concerned? Potentially. Who knows? But I think this is going to be his last year with us, because we've got young talent coming through that we should be giving first team football to. Also, he likes to bring the ball out of defense. Have I literally been playing him out of position this entire time? Hold on. Wait a second. Yes, I've literally got 2 centre-backs who play as centre-backs, but are more likely to be playing as ball-playing defenders. They're not good enough for that. So let me get this straight. Ball-playing defender. Can he do the role? Don't know. I actually genuinely don't know. The same can be asked about Piggott, and again, I don't know if he's actually good enough for the role, so the fact that they want to play the ball at defence or bring the ball at defence is concerning, but what can you do? Again, Penley, we're showing him He doesn't have that problem, but he does play as a centre-back on defend normally. He's not a no-nonsense defender, though. That's a concern. He is 6'3" and can jump, though, so that's good. I'm also realizing a lot of my centre-backs don't like big games. We are on the verge of selling Sam Whittle. I've already agreed an offer from Farsley. He hates big matches. He's also 32. He's also being paid money, and he's also only a leading player for the regional division, so the fact I'm getting rid of this guy is probably a good thing. Forsyth's also on the transfer list, so that's probably not a good sign that another centre-back of mine is on the transfer list, but I literally just feel like, okay, I need to get rid of some deadwood here who are being paid too much money, and this guy's one of them. Lewis Joseph Thompson is really exciting young talent. He's been in the first team for a couple of years now, in and around it, and this is the year I need to really start throwing him in the first team. He needs the development, he needs the game time to get everything going forward. The fact he's not good at really anything apart from tackling is concerning, but he's 6'2". He's got the potential to become better. I just don't know if he can become better. He's also only been paid £30 a week, so really, I might be ripping him off. Also, Craig Elliott is apparently a one-star accountability player for us. He's also only been paid £20 a week, and he's not looking good in potential-wise because of his low determination, but I probably won't play him, but I'm just going to show you this guy anyway. 14 tackling is good though, isn't it? The other person I'm going to show you is Raul, a Spanish and English centre-back. The fact he's called Raul makes me wonder what on earth. No, that's literally his name. He's called Raul Costas. Fair enough. But yeah, he's in the under-18s. He's extremely inconsistent, but he's got great potential. So I need to figure out a way to help him develop even more. When he was starting out, he was only like 3 grey stars at first, and now he's become a full star. He doesn't really fit any roles I play, though, so that is concerning. But if he can continue to develop the way he has been so far, then who knows? He might be useful. That or my other players are actually getting worse. I don't know. Which one do you think it is? He's also 6'4". I need to utilize that. All right, left back's easy enough to say what's happened here. Kieran James, first choice. He was really good last year. He was the player of the season. Yes, I've given him the number 11 shirt, and he's playing as my left back, but what can you do? I might change that this season, actually. But he's a good player for division, or a decent player for division. He's also inconsistent, but he's also only 16, so he can definitely improve on that. Amari Fabetto is also the other left back who, while not amazing, can definitely get better and better in that role. I like him a lot. I think he could be really good for me. I do need to work on a few things like his off the ball, his marking, and his passing, but that can be improved over time, same with his first touch. Those are the 4 things we definitely need to improve over time. He's also inconsistent, but he's doing well in training, so maybe I shouldn't be too harsh on him, even if he is fickle. Last resort left back is Jack Cavalata, and yeah, you can see why he's last resort for the left back role. If both my other left backs get injured, he has to come in, which is not ideal. Split the personality though. Okay, Remy Walker's my first choice DM and centre midfielder. He's really good. He's not a fan of big matches. He's also unhappy with the fact I actually triggered his contract extension when he wanted to leave. He's a good player for the division who can only become a good player in the National League. So yeah, I am paying him too much money, but I'm hoping that if someone does decide to come in, that I get at least closer to the £200,000 mark. I doubt it'll happen, but I can't really afford to let this guy leave us anyway, so it is what it is. Bailey James Lodge is the player that is going to be the second choice for the DM position, even though it's not his best role. I can utilize him. I will utilize him. He's also fairly professional, and he's being paid just £25 a week. I can work on that. Centre midfield, a bit more obvious, where we can say we've got players in. Some players I will talk about, some players I won't talk about. I won't talk about Mitchell because he's a striker, but I will talk about Priest. This is Stuart Priest. I like him. I think he's good. He's unambitious though, and while he's decent for the division, I feel like he can get better and better. I hope he does become a National League player in the future because apparently that is a potential. He's inconsistent. He's also unambitious, but he's still improved enough for me to be considering him a first choice player for me. So what can you do? He has 1 year left in his contract. I should give him a new contract soon. I might do that now, actually. Oh, I don't need to. I've got this contract extension clause. Nice. Wimmer is also in the first choice plans. Am I crazy if we're not using him as a ball-winning midfielder? Because that might be the play this year. I might use him as a ball-winning midfielder. and then go from there. He's also inconsistent, but he's also a National League North player who can become a National League player in the future as far as I'm concerned. Yes, he's inconsistent, but he's good enough for me, and I like that. He also works hard. Yes, he's also very aggressive, but that's fine. I like what I have with this guy. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Matai, who could play in a lot of positions up front, can also play as a midfielder for me. He also can be a decent Mazzala, though I don't want to use him there when he can only have a tackling of 2. Yeah, he's last resort for that role, but what can you do? Barber is very much the last resort as well because of the inconsistency and the fact he's got a casual personality. I don't know why he got that, but he has. I need to get that out of his system. We've also got Nigel Cahill, who could be a winger, as an attacking midfielder, and a centre midfielder. I think he could be a decent Mazzala, even if he does need a lot of work. But it's something we can work on. Also unambitious. Why are so many of my players unambitious, honestly? Okay, attacking midfielders on the right. We've got Lazarov. He's the first choice still. He's also inconsistent. He's also just 16. So let's be honest, I shouldn't be judging him too harshly. This is the transitional years right now that we're working on. We can definitely go forward from there. He also turns 17 in 5 days' time, so he'll be 17 soon. Also, yeah, Matai can also play in that role, so there's that. Richard Dimitru can also play here. I am looking to loan this guy out because I feel like he's better suited out on loan. He's also a right target forward or attacker, so yeah, this less said about that, the better. I feel like this guy could be good. I've given him game time in the past. I just not found out game time for him this year. It's a shame, but what can you do? Marcel Wright is also decent. I think he can be a good player. He definitely needs to improve. But I just need him to work on a few things. Decision making, composure, long shots, passing. If we can improve those stuff, then we're good. Same with the vision. He's also only 16. He's going to improve. Shepard was annoying to deal with last year. He's naturally a winger, so the fact I'm using him as an inverted winger isn't too much of a shock. He's got good physicals, but he's just super inconsistent, and it's cost him time in the past. The average rating was 6.63 last year. Yes, he only started 5 times, but he was super inconsistent, and it was annoying to deal with, so I don't know what to do with him. Now, what I hate about Yusuf, despite the fact he's really good, is the fact he hates big matches, and it seems to come through a lot. Physically, really good player. He's a good player for the division who can become a leading player for the division in the future, and he's consistent, but he hates big matches and has never had a good rating for me. I don't know what it is about him. I just can't get him to get a good rating, and I wish I knew why. Mitford I'm looking to sell, I think, this season. I feel like I don't want him around. I think I should put him in the transfer market now and go from there and just offer him out. Like, can we get some interest? Yes. 2 players. Okay, 2 teams. Cool. Let's get rid of Mitford. He got the overhead kick last year. That's got us a really good goal, but I just don't think he's good enough for the team. We need to move him on. And it will also mean weight off the book, so I can't complain about that. Gibson, a striker, but also can be a winger. I will keep him around even if he's on £600 a week. He's also a bit unhappy with the fact that I dropped him and didn't really bring him back into the first team. But if you look at his average rating last year, I feel like I'm justified with dropping him. He's also not scored in about 18 matches at this point. It's ridiculous. But Matai, we talked about as a winger on the left. I think he can play there quite well. Whether I need to use him as inside forward or not, I don't know. Cahill also could play there, so there's that. And again, it's whether I use him as inside forward or an inverted winger, I don't know yet. But the player I should be talking about and I should be the most excited about is James Mitchell. He is only 17. He's already this good for me. Yes, I know he's a pressing forward first and foremost, but as a pressing forward or deep line forward, he could be really useful. Yes, he's not amazing as an advanced forward. I mean, compared to a pressing forward, I think he could be doing a good job for me. He's got 11 goals in his career so far, 10 last year, but the average rating wasn't great. I don't know why it was so bad. It might be because I just wasn't really sticking to one position. He was playing as a striker, could also play as an attacking midfielder, or as a centre midfielder. I've used him in all 3 roles. I just feel like, okay, striker's the role for him. I don't need him to be good at tackling up front. As long as he continues to pressure people and we get the ball back, that's fine. I can work with that. Gibson is the second choice for the striker role. I need him to do better as a second choice striker. He should know his place at this point. I should have also lowered his expectations. I did lower his expectations. I'm going to do that. See if he gets upset. Sabakis is the third choice striker then. He's a fickle personality. He's also been called up by the under-19s Hungarian team, so he's getting international football as well as first team football from us. So I'm hopeful as a result of that, he will improve and develop. He's also very much a pressing forward. So I don't know. Should I be excited or should I be concerned? I feel like we got some good things going with this guy. And we got two young strikers who, if I wanted to, I could just make the 4-4-2 formation out of and just work from there. I just don't know what to do with it otherwise, and I hope we can do something sooner rather than later to sort the team out. But that's the team I wanted to talk about, and I think that's all I need to explain right now. The boards, well, we're expected to be 19th place, so that's suddenly feels really good. The board and the fans both want us to avoid relegation, so that's a thing I need to work on. I feel like I can do that. Whether or not we do it as successfully as we have done the last 2 years, I don't know, but we'll find out together. So, things didn't go to plan at the beginning of this season, as you can tell by the results we've had since we last met. Pre-season was great. I thought we'll be fine, we'll be doing well. Beating Shrewsbury 4-0 was a good start in our season, but then we picked up just 1 point in our first 8 matches. And then I realized I need to change my formation. I changed my formation from a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2. And the only reason the 4-4-2 didn't get a victory straight away was because our goalkeeper got injured and I had no goalkeeper on the bench. And we were winning twice after that point. But then they scored in the 92nd and 96th minute. Sometimes things just go against you. Still, despite everything, we managed to kick on. We got to the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup. We took it to replay against Rochdale, who are in the National League at the moment, and that was fine. We even went to a 4-3-3, the 4-4-2 diamond, the 4-4-2, and I thought, yeah, let's experiment a little bit. We did have a few games. It went our way, didn't go away. I tried to go back to the 4-3-3 against Scunthorpe after not picking up good points against Bury and Kettering. Disappointing results. And then I realised, actually, I need to go back to the 4-4-2. No, I went back to the 4-4-2 diamond in this game, and that worked to get us these 3 goals. We were 3-0 down after 63 minutes. Then they made it 4-1, but then we got 2 goals later on. Didn't matter. It helped the goal difference a little bit, but didn't matter the fact we still lost either way. But since the Scunthorpe game, we've only really lost 1 game, and that was to Bashford. We were also 2-0 down in the first 29 minutes, and then got a draw, only to lose on penalties anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, either way, things have gone better since I've gone back to the 4-4-2, and maybe I should never have left it in the first place. The 4-4-2 diamond got me a point against Kings Lynn, but yeah, the less about this game, the better. That was when I realized the 4-4-2 diamond wasn't going to work either. I may have also tried to do wingers at the beginning. That did not work. So I've gone for 4 different formations technically. The 4-4-2, the 4-4-2 diamond, the 4-4-2 diamond wide, and the 4-3-3. I'm certain I've tried another formation as well, but yeah, clearly the 4-4-2 diamond wide is not good. The 4-3-3 isn't great, but 2 strikers up front, that works. And I like to think that we are doing okay now. We are definitely getting better and better. We do have Darlington in the next match. I've only got the league to really focus on now, so I guess I don't have to worry about anything else right now, which is not the end of the world. And it's a good thing too, because as we look at the league, we are in 16th place. Now, you're going to notice one thing. Gibson's our top goal scorer. Not just for us, but the entire league. I changed him to having a striker up front alongside him in the 4-4-2 formation. He's absolutely thriving with it. Even the 4-3-3 formation, when he got 23 goals, he never felt amazing. This year, he feels amazing. And having another striker up front with him has worked a treat for us. And now we're 10 points clear of the relegation zone. Reminder, we had just 1 point in our first 8 matches, so the fact we've come from that to do this is really good. In fact, I don't think we lost 3 of the last 15 matches as well. So it's not even like we've been terrible. We've just been annoyingly inconsistent until we figure out the right tactic. We're 10 points clear of the relegation zone. We're 11 points clear of the playoffs. So I'm not going to say the playoffs is a realistic target, but I think 8th place could be realistic if we continue to play the way we've been doing. And hopefully we can continue to do well. Blythe Spartans and Scunthorpe and Kings Lynn, all really good teams. All teams we've lost against or drawn against. Kings Lynn, that game we should never have been able to do well in. We lost to Scunthorpe. We lost to Blythe Spartans. So yeah, the top 3 teams, really good teams. Altrincham we lost to. Chester we've lost to, so I'm not really happy with that. In fact, Scarborough have also beaten us as well. So we lost to Scarborough. We lost to Spennymoor. I think we got a draw against Marine. No, we beat Marine. So Marine's the only team in the top 7 that we've beaten so far, because even Darlington beaten us. So yeah, top 7. We've only picked up 4 points against those teams. So clearly either we've been unlucky and not played the right formation, or we've just not been very good. It's one of the two. But this is the formation I'm playing with now, and you can see why I've gone for this, can't you, right? Bell is already a good player in this position, in the good role. So yes, he's only a 2-star current ability player. Yes, he's only a regional divisions player, but he's already quite good in some attributes, and he likes to run with the ball down the left. Letting him be a winger there is useful. Having the wing back on attack overlap is also useful with James. James is really developing into a good player now, and I like to think he has earned his spot in the team at the age of just 17. But the key component of the team now is James Mitchell. Now, he doesn't score a lot of goals, but he's getting a lot of assists, so that's good. He's also wanted by Bradford City and Morecambe, so clearly his performances have earned him a lot of interest. He turns 18 in February. He's also contracted until 2029. So clearly, good things are happening for us. But with Remy Walker announcing he's going to leave us on a free transfer at the end of the season, I know that I've got to replace him, but I've already got a replacement in mind. And in fact, I could just show you right here and now, that replacement is going to be Rimmer, who, I know what you're thinking, he's not a deep line playmaker. Now, I know he's better as a support player in that side of things, but he's also left-footed, so he's on his natural side. And as far as I'm concerned, he can play with both feet. He is a 3-star current ability player who's only a regional Premier Divisions player, but he's also only 17. He works hard for the team, so teamwork-wise, he will be really good. And I think that composure's good, decision-making could be better, but his vision's okay, his passing's okay, so maybe I'm not going to be so concerned about this development, as I'm being told I need to work his ball control. Fair play, fair enough. I'll do that now. But yes, I like to think he's going to be okay. I am also training him to be a box-to-box, because I thought, you know what, I might as well try that. In the meantime, we're going to make him train to be a deep line playmaker because he can do the role. I'm changing my strategy. I'm changing my way of thinking to accommodate for the team now. My midfield is my weakest area, but I think at the same time, we've not got a terrible squad. The only downside is the players like Matai are probably not going to get in the first team now, which, given how consistent he is annoying. But then you realize he's not going to fit any role that we play. Unless, no, even then, his positioning of 1, his tackling of 1, just won't make him worthwhile. Matthias not going to get in the first team. And there's going to be some players who will miss out because of the formation change. But what can you do? Speaking of formation change, we've got a youth intake preview, and centre midfielder and strikers are B+. Admittedly, even though they say this isn't a great year for centre midfield, I'm thinking it might be. Also, we got a left back who could be coming through. Apparently, it's just they're happy with the number of people coming through. Nothing more than that. A good number of centre backs, even if they don't look good. But we got a striker who we could be excited about. We've got a potential wide midfielder on both sides. We've got a right back, a left back as well. So if we get good players, I'm happy. I don't expect to get good players, quite frankly, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get some exciting players either way. So let's continue on. and get to this youth intake. The last game we had before we met up was the 3-2 victory with Marine. We have gotten through to the youth intake now. It's the 30th of March, and we've had a lot of good results. A 3-2 win against Darlington, a 1-0 against Chester, a 3-0 win against Kirsten Aston, a 2-1 victory against Braintree and Newington. Then we took us Spennymoor and lost by 5 goals to 2. They were always in control of this game. They were 4-up at one point, and it was not ideal. Blythe Spartans we got a 3-3 draw against, so for whatever reason we can just get results against Blythe Spartans a lot. We got a 90th minute equaliser this time as well, so happy days. We were never ahead at this point in any way, and it was 2-0 at one point to them as well, so clearly we can just grab results out of nowhere. Shame we couldn't do it against Scarborough, but again, not the end of the world. Away from home, we tend to be pretty poor. And then we won 3 games in a row, beating Radcliffe by 3 goals to 1, Altrincham by 3 goals to 2, and Southport by 2 goals to 1. We lost 3-0 against Tamworth, who is managed by Danny Welbeck of all people, but he's done a good job with them. And then we beat FC United by 5 goals to 1, then lost to Kettering 2-1, drew 1-0 against Bury, having to come from behind, lost 3-1 to Scunthorpe, and then we beat King's Lynn by 2 goals to 2. And then we beat King's Lynn by 2 goals to 0. We drew 1-0 against Easton and drew 1-0 against Hitchin. The last 2 results, honestly, I was disappointed in. We should be doing better. Chris Bell got his first ever goal for us against House Owen Town. That was a good stay for our point of view. And it was lucky that it fell to him again. But his first goal is his first goal of the way. We still won 4-1 in that game. Saba Kiss got his first ever goal in this game against Rochdale to equalise in the FA Cup. 4th quarter home win against them. We still win off the draw 2-2, but this was to make it 1-1. So we got lucky and potentially unlucky. But he scored his first ever goal, so that was good. And so far, the latest person to get his first goal for the club from our academy is McNorney. I could be wrong when I say it's his first, and he's the latest person, and I might have missed the person out, but that was a deflected goal. It still counts. It still gets the equalising goal against Hitchin, so I'm happy either way. However, the thing I'm very excited about is the youth intake, and I knew it was going to be potentially a good one. I just didn't expect it to be this good on first impression. Now, I'm going to say this here now. Look at this, and then you think, there's no way this could be bad, right? There has to be. Every player has to have something right. There's no way they could all be this good at potential and have something wrong with them. There's nothing that could potentially be wrong here, right? There's no way. Then I went and looked at their personalities, and yeah, there is something that can be wrong. Literally all their personalities are terrible, apart from a handful. Lightheart is fine. Driven, great, but it's on a player that's not very good. Low self-belief for a player that looks incredible on paper. What on earth is this about? Honestly, how do you get low self-belief and be considered one of our better players? I have no idea. I really don't. But let's talk about him. Jules Mayele. Inconsistent. Belgium, DR Congo, and England nationalities. He's got low self-belief. Even though his finishing is really good for this level. His technique is good for this level. His bravery's good. And yes, he's got low self-belief. How do you have low self-belief when you got all of this? The worst part is, his determination is actually quite good. If he literally bumps up a little bit and works on his pressure, we could be fine. This guy could be amazing for us, and that's the worst part. Dennis Maloney Slavin is a player with unambitious personality, but is level-headed, so he's loyal, at least. It's just a shame he's not got good determination. Good vision, though, so actually could be a deep line playmaker, which I am using now. Actually could be quite good. If he works in his positioning and balance, we could have a good deep line playmaker in our team here. He's consistent, too, so this guy could be our playmaker. It's just a shame he likes to shoot from distance. He likes to shoot from distance with 5 long shots. Sorry, what on earth is that? Who trained this into you? Who let you get away with this for so long? Unbelievable. Good work rate, though. This is Nathan Sadler, a right winger who I am probably going to play further back, but he's good. Look at his physicals. He is going to be a nuisance It's just a shame we've already got a good player on that side. And Bell's got some competition now. Yusuf might be out of the team. But yes, downside is he's inconsistent. And he's not very smart. For decision making, that might be his problem. 5 crossing, 14 technique though. 14 flair, 14 aggression. Okay, the aggression with the decision making being so low might be the hindrance. But there you go. Also, he is not a hard worker. We need to fix that quickly. About Lookman, Irish and Nigerian? I've never seen that combination before. He's extremely inconsistent, but he could be okay. He works hard, he's got good technique, good first touch. I like this guy a lot. If you take away the negatives of the inconsistency, this guy could be amazing for us, and I am delighted. I think this guy could honestly be the best player we have right now, and that is saying a lot. We just need to get a better personality and work on a few things. Determination is actually really good as well, so I'm actually happy about this. He's the ideal player for me, in my mind. Oh, and he could also play on the wings if I needed him to. Not that that's really the plan, but yeah, decent player, could be useful. This kid's gonna be a problem, isn't he? Look at Junior Atim. Item? He's English and Nigerian. That's all I'm gonna say no matter. The fact he's got that really says a lot to me. But he's okay. He's also unflappable, so he deals with pressure quite well. He's got good temperament as well. So the thing I look at, and this is a big thing, I have to say this here now. You can tell how good a player could be in the mentals, in the hidden attributes by their personality and their media handling style. So that's a good range to look at. It's a shame he's unambitious, but I'm happy with this. I'm really happy with his personality and his media handling style. Could be a good player. Also could be a left back. Am I wrong for saying this guy could be a left back? I think he's naturally left back. He could also play the right back as well. This guy could honestly be the answer to some of the problems on the wings. And that says a lot. I'm excited about this player. Even if his personality isn't great, his media handling style is. Oh, if only this guy was not so inconsistent. This is Dan Atkinson. Just English nationality. He's level-headed. So that's a thing. And if only he was better with his consistency. If only he was more consistent and more ambitious, I would be loving this guy a lot more. But here we are. Right back, he starts. He literally starts in the right back position right now. No word of a lie. Jonathan Manoli gets booted out for this guy. And Pigott does never start again. It's just a shame he's not determined. He's got good work rate though. Good balance, good stamina, and good technique. But he needs to work on a few more things. This guy starts for me, even if he's going to make mistakes. And that's a problem. He could also play as a wingback as well. He can actually play as a wingback as well. What on earth? Okay. Ilyas Tuzan? I assume he's from Turkey, so that could be one of those things. He's from Turkey. Low determination. That's a problem I'm noticing with my players. Despite my head of youth development having a good personality, what I'm noticing right now is that they're getting his media handling style, but not his personality right now, which is a shame. But I think this guy could be amazing. If we work on his consistency and make sure he's best in the air, and just generally, this guy could be amazing for me. I just don't know why he's got so many cons. Okay, we're now going to talk about the 4 potential ability players, because we're literally going to go talk about every single player here. Desmond Simon, fairly sporting. Really like this about him. He's actually going to be useful. He's got good physicals as well. He's got good acceleration, good pace. Determination is really useful. Aggression is nice. And yes, I think this guy could honestly solve a problem that has started to boil over, which is the lack of depth in the right midfielder position. So this guy is answering that problems. Devon Walker, a centre-back. I'm not putting him as a right back, even though he could do the role nicely. He could be a good wing back. He's a centre-back who's 6'4". He's also got 10 acceleration and 7 pace. So yes, this guy is going to be part of my team. He's also very inconsistent. I feel like I've made a mistake. Connor Shepherd, another centre-back who tries to play his way out of trouble. 14 tackling, 13 jumping reach. Okay, those are good. Good bravery as well, so he's a bit dumb. Which honestly isn't the end of the world if he's consistent, which he is. If he can get better and become good enough to be a part of our division, that's great. I like this guy. He could be useful. He just needs to work on a few things. We got someone from the Gambia. Gemma is okay. He's just extremely inconsistent, and I don't know why. Everyone's unambitious, honestly. Robert Williams Morris is a right winger who inconsistent again and helps the first team lack of depth on the right midfielder and right winger position because, wow, he can do the jobs quite nicely. Okay, I like this guy a lot. Good acceleration, good pace, actually good determination as well. Good leadership. This guy's a leader. Okay, this is really useful. Adam O'Neill can play right wing back, right back, and centre back, despite the fact he's only 5'10". Yeah, you're not playing there. You're playing as a right back. But 30 acceleration, 12 pace. Again, really useful. We're getting a lot of areas that we need strengthening in, and they're bolstering our strength and depth. Josh Ridley is a left back who also can play as a centre back. He's 6'3". Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, I can see him being a centre back. Just needs to work on a few things. I'm actually surprised at this guy, but okay. He's inconsistent again, though. Unflappable this time. That's good. How does this work, actually? Unambitious and unflappable. I've never seen that combination, I don't think. And Simon Brown. Again, more strength and depth on the left winger position. That's useful. He knocks the ball past his opponent. He's got good acceleration and strength. I like this guy. We got a good bunch of players this year, even if their personalities are absolute garbage. And then we get this guy who's literally got the best personality, but has got no ability. So, annoyingly, he could actually be a good, decent center striker. If only we had his personality on every other player. That would have been the perfect way. A driven personality and level-headed. Oh, he would have been useful. We need to get more determination around our squad, I feel like, and that's a problem. Maybe I need to get a new head of development. Maybe I need to get a new head of development for this sort of thing, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, I suppose. At least we're in mid-table again. 61 points, just 5 points less than what we had last year. So if we surpass what we did last year, then this tactic has been a success, and we can at least say we're in a chance to not get promoted, but at least avoid relegation every year for the next couple of years, and until we strengthen our squad, because that's the aim now. Can we do it? I like to think we can. Let's get to the end of the season. So we've just had our last 4 games of the season, and we won them all. We beat Warrington 3-2, we beat Alphington 1-0, we beat Hereford 1-0, and we beat Marine 2-1, having to come from behind against them. But there was a new goal scorer to our list of players, and it was on his debut, no less. Robert Williams Morris got the winning goal against Warrington to ensure that we picked up all 3 points, as I gave numerous debuts to players in this game. And it was from our own throw here that we got it. James plays it across, finds Williams Morris, it hits the post, or it's saved, but he gets the rebound in, and he scores to make it 3-2 to ensure we pick up all 3 points against Warrington. But did this help us get into the playoffs, or was it already too much to ask for? Well, it was already too much to ask for, and we only finished 3 points off the playoffs in the end, which makes the fact that I didn't change my formation sooner all the more frustrating. But at the end of the day, even if we did get the same number of points, we wouldn't have got into the playoffs. We would have fallen short regardless. We did kind of stop Alphington from getting into the playoffs, mind you, but there you go. It didn't matter. Scunthorpe and Blythe Spartans both got 100 plus points, and they both got promoted. So if they hadn't been promoted, it would have been an interesting proposition to have. But Blythe Spartans beat Scarborough by 4-1 to ensure they're through and to ensure they're promoted to the National League. But 73 points after 66 points last year, it's an improvement, and that's a good sign. So clearly, the new formation's working. And Gibson got 29 goals. But now we're going to review the season. We did get rid of some players. Lloyd we sold because he wasn't very good. Whittle went to Warrington's Rylands. Mitford went to Brackley Town. He got 11 goals, but didn't get a good rating. And Forsyth went to Taunton. He had a decent rating, but he was on too much money at the time, so it made sense to get rid of him. We sent some players out on loan as well. Dimitru, Elliott, Yusuf, and Foster all went out on loan. Only one of them had a good rating, but he didn't also play a lot. So, yeah. We only picked up 3 victories through the entirety of the first couple of months. We picked up just a single point in the first 8 games. And if we had just done better in the earliest exchange of the month, and you look at the teams that we lost to or drew against, Braintree, Newington, Kirsten Ashton. I can understand losing to Spennymoor and Blythe Spartans and Scarborough. I can actually understand losing to Chester. Now you realise that they finished in 4th place. But Kirsten Ashton, 15th. Braintree, 22nd relegated. Newington, 13th. Those are 3 games that we probably should have done better in. Even Darlington, if you look at them in 12th, probably should have done better in. So a lot of points we dropped because we didn't have the right formation at the beginning of the season and we were being found out. So it's not terrible. But then you look at the end, this run of form here. Between November and January, that was really good. We lost a load of points to Spennymoor, Blinds, and Scarborough. But then again, they're also quite good. But yeah, end of season form, really good. Middle part of season form, really good. There's just a few hiccups every now and again when we weren't doing very well. And if we avoid doing that, we could be fine. And it's unfortunately one of those things that cost us a chance for the playoffs. Though admittedly, at one point I was concerned about avoiding relegation, so the fact we did is good. FA Cup, we got to the 4th qualifying round, lost to Rochdale. They're a decent side, I'm not concerned. This game against Bashford, infuriating, but it did allow us to just focus on the league, so perhaps it's not the end of the world. Biggest win was the 5-1 victory against Warrington. The match to remember was the 1-1 draw against Braintree because we equalised. That was the first point we picked up this season. Imagine what happened if we didn't do that, but there you go. And Priest scored the goal of the season against Kettering, a game we probably should have done better in, but we didn't, so it is what it is. How good was this goal? I can't remember it. Oh, I remember this goal. So it's from our own corner, and Penley fires Priest. He curls it into the top corner for that effort. That is an outstanding goal, and I hoped it would do more than just give me hope. I thought we would actually get something from this game. We didn't, and we lost. Finances, I looked at this earlier, it's changed, but there's something wrong with this, so clearly something's gone wrong there. Hopefully we can do better than this next year. How we liked it was this, 4-4-2, Gibson with a 7.15 rating. He scored 35 goals in 48 games this year, so last year he was terrible for me, and I was on the verge of just leaving out the team. We then changed the formation and then realized actually that's what needs to be changed. So there you go. Bell got into the team of the year despite not starting a lot, which is a bit of a damnation of Yusuf, whose contract is expiring at the end of the season. Brandon Hall is in the team of the year, but he got a 6.78 rating and has been terrible as of late. I think that his time is also done now that we've got those new goalkeepers in. The wingers are always going to have problems, same with the fullbacks on us at times, but centre-back's okay. McNally has officially become the first choice, but he might have lost his spot given the talent that's come in. And given we've got so much talent everywhere in the pitch now, we might have enough strength and depth to just challenge from multiple fronts, maybe? Who knows? I haven't really thought of this far ahead, but I'm just happy we've got an opportunity to do well. But yes, Gibson has completed some records. Most goals in a season, most league goals in a season for us so far. He's the highest ever goal scorer with 84 goals now. Pickett's got the most league appearances with 215. And Mitchell was actually good as well with his average rating, as was Gibson. So Gibson, highest average rating. Lasworth broke the record for most assists with 14, so we're scoring more this year, which is good. And I also picked a man of the month twice, so clearly something's going right here, and we're doing okay. It'd be nice if we could just improve, but no red cards this year. Penley did pick up 11 yellow cards, mind you, but that's not the end of the world. It was a good season, but we could do better. I think if we didn't have a horrible start of the year and had to change our formation so early on, we could have been better off, but there you go. But yes, we actually had a takeover. I didn't bring this up because I kind of forgot about it, and it was kind of something I forgot about. But at the end of the day, we had 2 late winners, and we got a lot of things to be excited about so far. And this is the overall best 11 now, and I keep forgetting this is a thing I should talk about. But This is this year's one. It was good. Mitchell is injured. He's got a torn groin muscle, which I think he picked up at the end of the season, like literally the last game I took him off. But yeah, this is the team of the year now overall. Gibson's got 64 goals in 137 matches, which makes the fact that he got 31 goals this year all more impressive. I really thought he had dropped off after last year, and I definitely thought about getting rid of him. But yeah, he just picked up the pace again. I just found the right role for him. He needed a partner, and he got a partner, and it helped him out. After having his worst ever season for me, he's had his best ever season for me. So clearly, I just need to find a better solution for him. But yeah, Brandon Hall, average rating of a 6.86 is not great, to be honest with you. And the fact that McNally's already gotten into the mid-room 11 as a right back straight off the bat is a bit concerning. But at the same time, it was not a shock. The fact that Brad Booge is no longer in the mid-room 11 in the overall best 11 is interesting though. I genuinely forgot he was only here for one season though, to be fair. So, same with Denanga. Either way, Fraser Kerr, I'm going to release. I like him, but he's been terrible this year. And yeah, it's 6.5 ever rating. I feel like he was the catalyst. As soon as I changed him out, he was better. He also could be a director of football. We're not doing that. Either way, Forsyth has dropped down to the bench as well. I barely played him last year, so that's why he was not doing a lot. Vimmer's now in the team of the year, or the overall Dream 11, so that's good. And I feel like if we can get this going and get better players in, we'll be fine. The fact we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in the overall starting 11 that have come from our academy, that's good. It was noted actually by the fans, so they're happy about this. Hopefully we can keep this up. The fact that Bradley Farrar has got a better average rating than Brandon Hall is concerning, even if he has played 111 less matches. We look at this now, we've got a very strong under-18s team, which is very promising to say the least. And yes, there are some players who probably should not be in here, in this squad right now, but what can you do? If you ignore Fraser Kerr, who's only down here because he's literally out of the first team, we've got a very young group of players here, and it's exciting to say the least. Look at all this potential right now that we've got. Isn't it beautiful? We've also got £754,000 in the bank, so I like to think that if we needed to, we could upgrade a facility, even if I don't particularly want to right now. I like to have all this money stocked up and piling up so we have the money in our catalogs, so we don't have to worry so much about anything going forward. We've also improved our junior coaching so it's now adequate, and I actually had 2 job offers throughout the season from Arbroath and Dundee United of all teams. I don't know why they decided to come in and offer me the job, but they did. But I turned them both down, obviously. Either way, this was our initial budget. I have tinkered it a little bit, so the transfer budget's lower, but I don't need to spend the money on transfers, that's fine. I just put it in the youth side of things. And we got the supporter profile. We lost some more followers again, but then again, I don't care about those people because clearly they don't know what I'm looking for and what we're trying to achieve. The board want this. They want us to avoid relegation. I think we should do that, and that's great. I got a 2-year contract now because they clearly love my work, and that's a good sign. And we've also improved our youth category rating, which I've never really tried this before. I can't remember if I have done this before or not, but I'm excited by it, and this is really good. We're making progress in that regards. Also, I convinced Mitchell to sign a new contract. He is my best player at this point, and I like to think that James Mitchell, despite his injury, is going to be the star that takes us forward in the very near future. Who knows? Maybe he can get promoted. But that might be too soon to ask, honestly. I'm certain he can become like a 5th or 4th tier player. I don't want to put too much pressure on him, though, even if I've just given him the biggest contract of his career coming forward. Okay, so it's a lowest number of draws, so that's fine. And Brown was named the player of the season. Gibson won the top goal scorer, which is really good. And we love to see that. We really do. Good work. Congratulations. Let's do more. So in goal, I'm actually not going to have Hall as my first choice. I'm going to have either Ferrer or Toussaint as first choice. But I'm absolutely going to have an option where I've got the opportunity to just to switch things around. Hall is only going to get the contract because I need the strength and depth. Whereas right back, I've got plenty of options now. Piggott is no longer needed there. He's a centre-back, same with Penley. So we've got Atkinson, who can start, but he didn't do very well in his first 2 games. So if I can improve his consistency, that's great. He's a good player for the role. I think he could do a good job for me. But if you look at this, you can see why I'm looking at Atkinson saying, I need to put him in my first team. He needs to be my first team. Admittedly, there is a few things. So we're going to have him wing back on support. And you can see why I want him in my first team, even if McNally's probably the better player in the physical side of things in some areas. Apart from the balance, stamina, he's better there. Work rate, he works harder. That's what I want in my players. I want players to work hard. I would like it if he was more consistent, but that's fine. We can work on that, I feel. There's a lot of things we can definitely improve over time, and it's not the end of the world. Speaking, though, of other areas of the pitch, we know that we got Kieran James, who is my first choice left back. There's no denying that. But looking at other players, we've got Kieran James, who's my first choice left back. It's no question now. He's made the spot his own, though he can have options. He does have competition with Atim and Fatuba. So let's compare him to the 2 players. And Atim is the first player we're going to compare him with. This immediately speaks of why, yes, this guy is really good. The fact that the assistants telling to recommend him be a complete wing-back or support is interesting. But this is his role, comparison between himself and Atim. And you can see why James is my first choice. There's no question. Again, works hard. I like a player that works hard. And he's got good stamina. So physically, he's a much better player. And mentally, actually not as good as Atim. But Atim is also not as good as some of the areas I'm looking for in this particular role. Decision making, really good. I love that. But off the ball, teamwork, yes, teamwork is actually better in, but work rate, off the ball, and anticipation, concentration, really good. And physically and technically, he's just a better player, so it makes sense in my mind to do it. Yes, there are some areas he could be better in, but this is why I'm having these options and why I'm enjoying this team right now. And if I have Amari Fapetu is just like, okay, I'm not even in the same class as this guy, but there you go. Centre back is always going to be the option here, but Piggott's definitely the first choice now. He's earned that spot this year. He was really good. And it's now between Penley and then Shepherd and Walker. Now, I'm going to have Penley in first and foremost, even if Penley is more of a right-sided player. And same goes for Piggott at this point. But Piggott's the younger player. Penley actually was really good at goal. In front of goal, we got 5 goals and 4 assists this year, so that's really good. A lot of them set pieces. Now, if I was to compare him to Shepherd right now, who's the first choice, you could see why I am not having Shepherd start straight off the bat. He needs to work on his strength, and he needs to work on a few other things of his game, like jumping, which not as good. But Penley's also 6'3", so it's probably not a fair contest in that regards. But again, it's fine. Shepherd is the better tackler, but Penley's the better head of the ball. And if I look at some areas of the game, yeah, Shepherd's good, but he's not as good as Penley. And Penley's also more determined, and I feel like that's important from my point of view. Devin Walker is a player who's also 6'4", so I think Walker could be useful, but he needs to develop first. And I feel like having someone like Penley be his mentor is going to be very beneficial. Actually, Penley's a good mentor for these players. So I'm going to have them in a mentoring group with Penley and then go from there. We've got like the likes of Raul as well, who has been here for a while. Hasn't really developed as much as I hoped, but at the same time, that's fine. Raul's also 6'4". I think Raul's going to go out on loan next year. But there's a few things I'm excited about. And Raul's actually got good determination as well. So I'm happy with this kind of thing. So right winger, we've got Lazarov. We've also got Williams Morris, and we've got Desmond Simon. So we should talk about Lazarov first and foremost. Yes, he's not been amazing in some attributes. He's still inconsistent in the red zone, but look at this. Yes, his average rating is not amazing, but his assist record is incredible. He's gone better in front of goal, and 26 assists in 89 league matches and 15 goals. Yes, the average rating is not great, but everything else is really good. And I feel like for all his off days he has some incredible matches, and I love him. If anything, William Morris is actually going to be a very good comparison to have, and he's better in the physical side of things. So William Morris is already looking good there, and they're looking good. It's good to have the comparison here, so I can just show you what I'm looking at and why I'm thinking, okay, Williams Morris is more of a winger, I think, at this point. Vision's definitely a thing. If I actually make him a winger and show this point of view, the vision's not needed. So maybe Williams Morris is just more of a winger outright, and we can go from there. Technique is just as good as each other, so that's good. And there's better flair for Morris as well. So Williams Morris is better for the flair and off the ball. So maybe we got a few things to work on. We look at the left winger, Yusuf and Bell. Now, I'm already making Yusuf a new contract, so that's a thing. But I look at Bell. I mean, it's no contest, but Bell's been better in the average ratings for me, and I don't know what it is. Okay, that might be a lie. He's not been great. Neither player's really been that good on either side, but he's more of a winger at this point. So both these players are definitely wingers on support. Thank you, Sister Mention, for literally pointing out that that was the case. So I look at Bell, I look at Yusuf, and I think, okay, Bell's probably got the better future in the game. He's more determined as well, which is really useful. And then we've got, like, Nathan Sadler, who has got a lot of potential, is better physically, but mentally and technically needs a lot of work. But again, not massively surprising when you realize just how young Sadler is. Same with Bell. So Yusuf's like the benchmark for what I want him to become. I just need him to become better mentally overall and not be so bad with big matches. So there you go. Okay, so Priest is definitely going to be the Mazzala. I know Walker's not going to be here. I could bring James Mitchell down here as well, but I'm not going to. I've got the likes of Wimmer, who is going to be here. He does get upset when I don't use him as a box-to-box or a ball midfielder. I feel like as a deep line playmaker, he's actually quite good for the role. But we've got a few options now. So we've got the likes of Dennis Maloney-Slavin, who is definitely a playmaker. There's no question about it in my mind. So as a deep line playmaker on defend, he could be useful. If I look at the Mazzala role, I feel like we've got Lookman, who actually is natural there. So again, makes sense to do it. So we've got two players who could definitely throw the role perfectly. We've got Bailey Genius Lodge, who I might just send out on loan. Actually, I'm going to send out on loan, I think, because he needs the first team development. He's first team football. I don't know if I can give him that right now, which is going to be a problem. But again, Walker's departure is going to lead to some of the doors opening for the younger players, and that's going to be good. This guy is definitely one of those people who needs the first team football. And they've got the strikers. Mitchell's the first choice there. Gibson's the first choice there. And I'm going to just compare Gibson to the new guy that came through. I look at this and I think, okay, advanced forward and attack. This is what I want Mayele to become in the future, like an advanced forward and attack. He's got a lot of good attributes. He's actually better technically than Gibson is, which is kind of crazy to say that already. But mentally, he's also better in the mental side of things. He's got a lot of bravery. It's just the physicals he's not as good at. If I can get his physicals to get better, then we might have a superstar in this guy. It's just a shame he's got low self-belief because he could be really good. I really want him to do really well for me in the future. I really do. So if I was to compare now Mitchell to Saba Keese, these two are going to be the deep line forward on support. You can see why I'm going for these two strikers and these two roles. I think they're good. Mitchell's just a much better mentally and much better in the physicals. Not massively a lot. Mitchell's just much better in the mental side of things, and I think he's going to be a star for us. Technically, he can get better, and in the physicals, he can definitely get better as well. They're both young, though, so we got a lot of room to grow with here, I think. So I think this team is definitely progressing nicely, and if we can get this team to become as good as I think it can, then we've got a star team in the making. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is ending this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys would like to share this video and that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. With the squad we've now assembled, and given our preseason prediction is still down there, where do you think we're going to finish next season? I feel like we've got a tactic that works for us, but I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on all of that down below. But anyway, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.